Queens, it's your girl Kia Jean. Just coming to you all tonight. Just thankful for season 1 of our Queendom podcast. I've had so much fun in recording and meeting different people and, talking and elaborating with each one that has been on the show so far. I am just excited that that everyone has a story to tell. They have advice they can offer, or just a listening ear, whether it's from a personal friend or a business life, that they can offer authentic ways for us as women to have solutions for things that we're trying to do in our life. I just thought that tonight what we will do is we will, one, I will tell you all my why behind Queendom, and then 2, we'll rewind some and listen to some parts of the podcast season 1 that I thought was great nuggets from each individual that we had on the podcast. So my why. As a young girl, I started out womanhood early without much guidance. I was a teenage pregnancy. I got pregnant at 16, had my first child at 17, and was pregnant again and had my second child by 18. So I had to start off womanhood quickly. I had to grow up quickly. I was married by 21, and I just wanted to create a platform because now I'm in my late 30s, and I just always wanted to create a platform for women to be able to share what they know and share what's to be true to them by aiding and assisting and helping women be the best version of themselves that they can be through genuine, authentic conversations, like no holding back. Let's tell it. Let's tell what we know and tell what we've been through and what we have experienced. So that is my why behind Queendom, is why I started the Queendom podcast. 2, let's rewind and let's look at some clips that I hope you all enjoy as we prepare and get ready for season 2, which is going to be about relationships, and it's going to be about finances and, just things of that nature that is continuing to build us to be the best version that we are. It was in my 30s before I really was able to look at myself in the mirror and say, Jakia, I like you. I like the woman that you were. I like the woman who you have been. I like the woman who you are becoming. And I really looked myself in the mirror and said, I like you. So I just know that freedom and how I felt and what it did for me internally. It was like the light bulb had went off, and I just want to share that with you all. It's a process, it's steps, it's you crying and and working on yourself and being hard on yourself and being gentle with yourself and being understanding with yourself. But at the end, if we can be the best version of who we are, we can give the best version of who we are to our family members and on our jobs or in our careers, in our businesses. And so that is the foundation and the meat of Queendom. So guess what? Y'all check out these, stay tuned for these next scenes and clips that we have. We're just gonna, dive in, go back into little nuggets and jewels and stuff of that nature. But also, hey, let's spread the love. Invite other people to watch the podcast. Share the podcast. Subscribe. Get them to subscribe. The more people that we have, the better that the community is going to be, because we're trying to build each other up. And that's it. All right, so hey Queens, y'all enjoy. See you all for season 2. Bye-bye. So what are your thoughts on e-learning?
I think that e-learning can present some challenges,
Okay.
but also I think that it can present a lot of opportunities for growth. I think in the pandemic, what I told my kids was, think about it like this: you have to be flexible and be able to pivot and adjust in this life.
Looking at spiritual fitness as a Black woman, I see that in the morning times when I am getting up and I'm going to work and I get in the office and I come in and I'm bubbly and I'm speaking to everyone and they like, hey, how are you? What what you got going on? How long you been up? What you on? You know, and I be like, nothing. I just been up walking, you know, and I run down my day walking, drinking, reading. So I commune with the Lord and this, that, and the other. So sometimes it just be like it take them back a little bit, because we are, as African American women, Black women, we are a little bit more outspoken, or, you know, a little bit more bubbly, a little bit, you know, we tend to show our emotions a lot.
Yeah.
So what do you see spiritually wise as an opportunity for us as being Black women?
So for me, I can think of that in the way that most people don't know. I don't listen to a lot of gospel music. I more so listen to CCM.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is because so much of our music, while it's soulful, it has a great beat, it's wonderful, it's just rooted in this idea of struggle. You won't look like a man. A lot of times the images that we see with women with more muscle mass and things, they take supplements and they really train hard 7 days a week. Like, they do things to achieve those, you know, muscle images that we're used to seeing. But primarily the everyday person, in order to get, you know, more curves and really shape and tone, you need to add in muscle, add in weights or some sort of resistance to really tone and tighten.
Okay. So how much of a part does it play? Because I guess what I'm saying is, I hear that the presidency is really not, it's important, but it's not as important as our local vote in our community.
So I would disagree with that statement on my own personal belief, because I think all voting matters, and people have to understand. What I think what people try to say is, when they look at local votes, these are things that are going to impact you immediately at a faster rate.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, so for instance, when you go to the polls and you're looking at property taxes or something in a certain areas, that's important to vote on, because that's going to affect you in that city. It's not something that's going to affect you on a national level, but it's going to affect you directly in your community.
Right. So when you first got diagnosed, I know there was a lot of emotions that came with it. So how did you feel?
When first I had found a lump in my breast.
Okay.
And that's how it kind of started. And the funny thing is, I walked around with this lump in my breast for 2 years.
Okay.
Because I kept ignoring it, and my mom was like, Chris, you need to get that check. You need to get that check. My friends like, you need to get that check. I'm like, no, it's fine. I went to my surgeon because I had a breast reduction. In 2012.
Okay.
And 2011, 2012. Had a breast reduction. And so I went back to the surgeon. I was like, you know, hey, it's a lump in my breast. You know, can you check it out? And he was like, oh, it's just a keloid. It's probably scar tissue. Don't worry about it. So that's why I said 2 years later, I just went on about thinking like, oh, it's just keloid. It's not cancerous.
Right.
Not thinking anything of it. And I actually, when I got my job at H&M, and I was away in El Paso for a training, and I told my mom, I was like, oh my God, this lump is itching. It's starting to get, I started having like pain in my nipple, and it would be so excruciating. Like, I had to literally like just lay down and rub it.
Yeah.
So I went, when I got back home in August, I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make an appointment with an OBGYN. So I called, and he got me in. He's like, well, I just think it's probably some a cyst or something like that.
Yeah. So
he said, but I'm not gonna take it lightly. Let's go ahead and get you checked up. So he took me to the breast care center.
Okay.
He took me to the breast care center. They did a mammogram, and then they did a sonogram. Well, when the doctor came in after looking at the sonogram, he's like, I'm sorry to tell you this. He said, but I've been doing this long enough. I believe you have breast cancer.
Okay. So what was your inspiration when because we know that you're known for retail management. So what was your inspiration to get into retail management?
I actually started in the hotel industry
before
retail.
Okay.
So when I started, I was in the hotel industry for about 6 years. I managed properties.
Okay.
And then I started in retail for part-time. So it wasn't.
Gotcha. You didn't go straight into
no,
okay.
But in retail, you learn a lot about women and their personalities and the insecurities that we all have. We're dealing with life and family and just things like that. So I think I'm inspired by people who have thoughts or mind to do things, but just don't know where to start.
Okay.
They just need that little push or encouragement to get there.
To get to where. Okay. Queens, we want to connect with you. So reach out and let us know who you want to see on the show. Drop your ideas in the comments. See you next week where we're adding another jewel to your crown.